Okay, so I'm just going to jump on live to talk to you about how you can talk to your kids about everything that's going on. So yesterday we posted that our thoughts and prayers were with everybody that was going through it, and we didn't really want to capitalise on what's a tragedy, but obviously as we've been checking social media, we've had emails come through, we just want to make sure that everybody's feeling really comfortable and confident in talking to their kids, because kids know what's going on, and this is something that's really important to take away. You can't hide from this, okay? So kids will talk at school, some child's parents will have told them, and then they'll tell your kids, so you can't get away from talking about what's happening. And what's really important is that when you talk to them, you treat them like a human. You don't mollycoddle them. You don't sit there down and say, well, it's okay, it's nothing for you to worry about, because when we don't understand something, it just makes it far more scary. So the best way to talk to your child is to, start by saying, I'm not sure whether you know, but the other day there was a really, really scary thing that happened in Manchester. Some bad people decided that they were going to take some people's lives, and they blew them up. Okay, and you have to be honest, and you have to say, that's what happened, some very bad people, and you need to take this opportunity to stamp out any racism, any worries about all Muslims are terrorists, because that's not true. And you just say these were bad people, these aren't a race, these were bad people who did a bad thing. And you need to talk about, they blew themselves up, they blew people up, and so many people have died. And I'm not going to give an exact figure because it's changing. So at the moment I think it's 22 people are harmed, but make sure when you're talking to them you find out the facts and figures about how many people have been harmed, what's going on, because they'll ask you those sorts of things. And this is why I'm trying to give as wide an explanation as possible, because I don't want you to take one of my facts and figures and you speak to them 12 hours later and it be different, because you're just going to confuse them. They're going to think that you're lying to them, or it is something that they need to worry about. So once you've told them what's happened, what you need to do is give them an opportunity to tell you what worries them, okay? You can't just talk about it and walk off. You can't brush it under the carpet. You have to give them the opportunity to say, okay, well, this is what's scaring me. And then that enables you to come back to them, okay? It enables you to say, okay, well, it's not something that we need to worry about because it's not something that we can predict, okay? Now that sounds in itself like it's something that's really, really scary. But it's not, and worrying about things that we don't know is going to happen is just a way to end up developing really, really complicated anxiety difficulties from it. So, you just say, it's a really, really sad thing that's happened, and we hope that it's not going to happen again. And that is all you can say. And the really important thing is it's never about really what you're saying, it's about how you're acting when you're doing it. Give them a hug, give them a glass of water, get them to really talk to you and open up about what's going on. And then the next thing to do is make sure you don't change your behaviour, okay, at all. You have to lead from the front. You have to not worry about it. You have to not be having hushed conversations about what's going on, because that's when children will start to feel afraid. When you change your behaviour and when you stop being their super duper mum, super duper dad, and you start to be worried about what's going to happen, then they're going to ignore what you're saying and start following what you're showing. Okay, so if you're showing, apologies about that, was a notification from my computer. If you're saying to your child, it's nothing to be worried about, and then you tell them that they can't go to school for 3 days, or you can't go to that event, you can't go out shopping anymore, you're going to order everything online, what you're showing that child is that it actually is something to be scared at. And the other really bad thing about that is you're going to start breaking down the trust that you two have between each other, because you've told them it's not scary and it's nothing to worry about. You're acting as though it is, so they're going to be sat there thinking, well, why are they lying to me? Okay, you've got to remember that children don't have amazing skills at understanding everything. I mean, they understand everything in black or white. They don't understand all the little nuances and all of that sort of stuff. And if they see you being scared, they will be scared. So after you've had the conversation, after you've made them feel great, so you just tell them what's happened. Give them an opportunity to talk to you. Tell them it's okay if they want to talk to you at a later date. Tell them it's okay that if they have any more questions, they can ask and you will be there for them. And you have to be honest. You have to be honest. Don't sugarcoat anything. Don't woolly anything, because they will hear it from their friends and they will hear it from other people, and they'll just get worried and get upset that you haven't told them the truth. And the main thing is that you just keep acting as normal. And this is really important when it comes to terrorism anyway, because terrorism only wins when we stop being scared about what's going on. So a little bit of background. So I grew up as an RAF child. So my dad was in the RAF and we moved around a lot, but we were also the years that I was growing up, we also witnessed quite a lot of difficult times. So I remember going to school, primary school, so it's very young, and we were being escorted by men in full army gear, and they had machine guns. We were following them to school. So for me, and living through those times where we were on critical alert and we were on high alert, and it was, if you think about it, quite a scary time. But because all of the adults were acting as though it's okay, all of the children acted as though it's okay. And I think that is the fundamental thing. When you as an adult step up and say, okay, it's scary, bad things happened, but we're not going to worry about it, then your kids will follow suit. So if you have any other questions or you're really concerned, then please leave me a comment, get in touch. And I hope this advice has been helpful, and I hope you're enjoying all the posts. So I'll speak to you soon.